Hello, welcome back. Sorry, my other video cut out. Take-home message about the inner ear is it has two functions. One is transmitting the sensory input about what we are hearing, and two is transmitting the sensory input about position of our head to help with vestibular imbalance. Remember that cochlear nerve could also be known as the auditory nerve. You might see it interchangeably. And the cochlear and vestibular nerves merge to form the cranial nerve number 8, vestibulocochlear nerve. Here's just those functions of the inner ear again. If you need to see it to write down notes, you can see in the semicircular canal area, it just talks about the 3 different canals that are set within the inner ear, contain the liquid, the little fibers, the hair fibers that send information to be processed in the cerebellum to help us with our balance. Okay, so this is in your note guides where we talk about the pathway of hearing. So essentially how a sound wave, how it ends up that we can hear it and understand what we are hearing. So first, the sound wave, remember, needs to be collected by the pinna. The pinna funnels those sound waves through the external auditory canal. The external auditory canal then continues to funnel those sound waves until they butt up against that tympanic membrane or our eardrum. When the sound wave hits that eardrum, it creates vibrations. The vibrations then pass to the little bones within the middle ear, the ossicles, the malleus, incus, and stapes, which then continue to carry those vibrations into the cochlea or the cochlear duct. Okay? That continues to carry those vibrations to the auditory nerve, which takes that sensory input of those vibrations to the brain, to the temporal lobe, where it can be processed so we know what we are hearing. So that was on your note guides. All right. Now, let's take a look at our note guides, shall we? No. There we are. Okay. So what we just talked about, the seven steps in the auditory pathway, okay, is right here. So go ahead and list those right there on your note guides. Up here, at this point, you should be able to go back or even look at the slides if you need to label the different structures within the ear. Number 15 is collectively referring to the outer ear. Number 16 is the middle ear, and number 17 is the inner ear. If you have any questions on these numbers, we can talk about that on Monday. Right. The functions of the ear, the outer ear is simply to collect those vibrations, the sound vibrations, and funnel them inward, funnel them towards that eardrum. And then the eardrum, the tympanic membrane, creates vibrations out of that. That's the function of the outer ear. The function of the middle ear is to simply transmit the vibrations from the eardrum to the cochlea. The inner ear's functions, there are 2. Remember, to transmit those vibrations towards that auditory or cochlear nerve so that it can be sent to the brain for processing. The other function of the inner ear is those semicircular canals to send or to gather data about head position to help with vestibular balance. All right, great. So that is it for today's lecture. Before we get to next week's agenda, there is now a form that I need you to fill out. Okay, I'll pull it up right here. So now that you have watched the lecture about the ear, I want you to complete the chart below. So if you feel like, hey, the ear's pretty easy, I understand what's going on, you are going to click on this link and just type your name here, list your name here. If you watched and you're like, I still don't know this about the ear, or this confused me, I have something that needs to be addressed, type it in this middle row here and sign your name to it, okay? Finally, if you have a question and then you log into this form and you notice that somebody already asked the same question that you have, list your name in this column here. So I know just how many people are having the same question, so we know how to address it, whether I just need to email you or if it needs to be I tell the whole class about it. That's very helpful to me, okay? I need to see your name somewhere on this document to be marked attended for today, because I need to know that you actually paid attention to the lecture, filled out your note guides. And again, if you don't have any questions, just write down that you're good. All right? A look at next week's agenda. It looks a little something like this. So on Monday now, we are going to have a brief review about the eye and the ear. Any questions that we may have on that document, we'll answer them. Okay? But after that review, we will then talk about the disorders of the eye and the ear only, okay? So we'll review them, then we'll talk about what can go wrong, the disorders. For those of you who are in the building, we will be doing some labs for vision and hearing. For those of you who are at home, there's different tasks that I'll have you do if you want to explore further. On Tuesday, we will be talking all about anatomy, physiology, and disorders of the nose and the tongue. Remember, we don't go as in depth on those. And then we will be doing a review about the skin. I know we already did the integumentary system, but we'll be talking about the anatomy of the skin. Essentially like the touch receptors, the pressure receptors, that sort of thing that help with our sense of touch. And then again, we will have labs for smell and sensation as well. Next week is a 5-day week. Please note that we do not have a Falcon Flex day. So on Wednesday, we will be reviewing for both the nervous and the sensory systems, because our test next Thursday is not just the sensory system, it is the nervous system too. So that's why we keep recalling some of this info that we've already learned from the nervous system. Don't blow it out of your minds, because we need to still know it for next week. And then next Friday, we will begin a new unit, the lymphatic system unit. Right? And I believe that that is it. Yeah, that's it. There is no exit ticket, of course. I hope you have a nice, safe, fun weekend. I miss you all. And if you have any questions that are immediate, please feel free to shoot me an email. I'll be on email all day. Bye-bye. See you later.